right, Matrixx and Rhodes show supporters, let's talk about those radical skanks over at The View, because they're all up in their feelings for a number of different reasons. Number one, they had the TEMU version of Don King on their show, and he's going on and on about laws created before a certain time are now racist, and so I guess what? You shouldn't have to follow them? By the way, they're not actually racist laws. They're just, he believes that before a certain actual date on the calendar, no law should exist. Oh, man, these guys are crazy. And we got a rant from Whoopi Goldberg in The View on PBS and free speech. Now, they're all up in arms because we know that PBS and NPR may very well be on the endangered species list. And look, it's publicly funded. It'd be different. Look, when I was growing up, PBS, very interesting. We watched it all the time in our house. Marty Stouffer's Wild America is one of my all-time favorite series that has ever been on television, right? I lived in Wyoming, so it was cool seeing a lot of these different animals and stuff, and hell, I yearn to get back there almost on a daily basis right now, all right? And I was flipping around just a couple of months ago. John Williams was on with the London Symphony Orchestra or someplace, and they were playing all his hits, right? The theme from Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Jaws, all of it. And that was great, all right? And to me, that's the kind of thing that PBS should be showing. Not giving and showing blatant partisan or radical content and giving partisan opinion. There should be nothing involving politics of any sort on PBS. All right? That's why it's under fire from the Trump administration. You're taking people's money and you've radicalized the network. I mean, honestly, Whoopi Goldberg, Trump attacks on free speech have nothing to do with reality. We'll get to TEMU Don King in a minute. Tuesday on ABC's The View, Whoopi Goldberg told her co-host that President Donald Trump was attacking free speech with, quote, broad strokes, which have nothing to do with reality. Goldberg said, what I want more than anything is I want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel. Co-host Joy Behar said, that's coming. Quote, that's coming. I don't like being threatened. I don't like people running up on me. You don't like what I say? This is America. I grew up here, and the one thing I always knew is I had freedom of speech. Every time somebody says, I don't like what they said, so I'm shutting down PBS. Now, here's the thing. More than a little bit, they come back from commercial break on The View, and they're having to issue some kind of a apology. Why? Because they've went out there and said something that was just flatly not true. And by the time they come back from break, somebody's already called and said, your ass is going to get sued. We're going to sue you because what you're saying is false. All right? So nobody is threatening Whoopi Goldberg's free speech. All right? But you can't go on television and blatantly slander and lie and this and that and the other, and there not possibly be repercussions on it. I guess that's what's got her upset. She's also upset that I guess PBS is being told to get out of the politics business or lose your funding. She's butthurt about that. What has free speech and PBS got to do with each other? It's there to be broadcasting content that should not be politically based. So you get my point. I don't like what they do, those broad strokes which have nothing to do with reality, because the fact of the matter is, just because you don't hear me say it doesn't mean I don't feel it. My big thing is all the things you talked about, but this idea you can no longer speak your mind as an American is really, really, especially coming from a group that always says, everyone is shutting us down. No one shuts you down. Sonny Hostin, it's terrifying. I have no idea what she's actually talking about. Behar said, I remember years ago I said to the audience, watch this space. When they tell us to keep quiet, you know we're in trouble. Wait for it. And all these comedians think they're going to get like banned from the country or kicked out of the country. That's been some. I mean, Trump was in office for a full 4 years at one point. Them bitches ain't gone nowhere. Ain't nobody been kicked out anywhere. Nobody's been locked up. None of that nonsense. I mean, seriously, it's not going to happen. Again, she's got the right to go on The View and give her political opinions. But they can't, and like I said, they've been called out on this several times where it's went viral that they've come back from break and they've had to apologize because they said something that was a flat lie. All right? That was not true. That's different than giving an opinion on something. So let's jump over here to TEMU Don King. This is Elel Mistal. Is that right? It's not Mystical. That's a rapper. I call him TEMU Don King. It says, get rid of every law prior to 1965. Why do I give a F about laws old white men did? This guy's supposed to be educated, I guess.
One of my premises for the book is that every law passed before the 1965 Voting Rights Act should be presumptively unconstitutional, right? But because before the 1965 Voting Rights Act, we were functionally an apartheid country. Yeah. Not everybody who lived here could vote here. Yeah. So why should I give about some law that some old white man passed in the 1920s, like the Immigration and Nationality Act, when they passed our fundamental my premises.
Elon's got to get the buffering video thing fixed because I got super fast internet. But anyway, could you get more racist? I mean, honestly, because the color of somebody's skin wrote a certain law, it should not be abided by. That's crazy. And this guy just said, I guess he wrote a book about this. So we're selling books radicalizing, not blatantly not following the law. These folks like this look, this kind of mindset, this is not healthy for the country. It's not. It doesn't get anybody anywhere. So the law isn't good because a white man wrote it. That seems racist. That is, in fact, racist. It seems that way because it is. Democrats are racist trash. Yeah. Gunther Eagleman, you're not wrong. This is why the Democratic Party approval rating is in the tank. Well, and that's the thing, man. Honestly, they've seen the results, and they're not turning back. They're still going in the same direction that got them destroyed, and their approval rating is all at an all-time low. It's because of crap like that. Don't make me tap the sign. They don't hate racism. They hate white people. That's a fact. That's where we are at. I mean, honestly. This guy says, wasn't the Emancipation Proclamation in 1863? Good point. I mean, he wants to eliminate the first 24 amendments of the Constitution, including the 13th, which abolishes slavery. Wild. Not very thought out. Now, is it? It's kind of crazy. It's simple. They hate white people. You can choose to hate them back or lose America. There's no third option. We have now blatantly we have allowed open they're trying to resegregate the country too, on top of everything else. So before we go, how about a little comic relief? I found this on the SteadX Twitter account. I don't know if this person made this or what, but Whoopi Goldberg admitting she sometimes gets it wrong.
I said that the Holocaust wasn't about race, and it was instead about man's inhumanity to man, but it is indeed about race. I said that the Holocaust wasn't about race, and it was instead about man's inhumanity to man, but it is indeed about race. I said,
wow, that's funny. That's funny. Has she been on a diet? I don't know. Whoopi looks somewhat thinner there, actually, and in better health than I've seen her in a long, long time. I don't know. Maybe the Trump presidency's working out for her after all. Oh, tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.